Okay, so let's look at page 369, and on the last video, we talked about how you could find the break-even point by entering those two functions into a graphing calculator and seeing where the lines intersect. And what we discovered is they intersect at 16.4. So you need to sell about 17 of these gears to break even. Now, there is a different way to do it, and it doesn't involve graphing. Here's what you do. Now the break-even point is when these two are equal. And if you remember from 368, it asked you what was the relationship between this function and this function at the break-even point. Well, at the break-even point, the function, what you sell the gears for, function of G, and the function of C, how much you paid for those gears, are equal. That's the break-even point. So, what can we do with that? Here's what we could do. We could say, let's change the gears to X. And let's take this to 8.5. We'll make it a little easier on ourselves. Okay, 8.5, 850, same thing. And we'll ditch the dollar sign for now. Is at some point equal to 5.77, X, remember that's the gears, plus 45. All right. Now, when you have a situation like this, what you can do is you can isolate the x's. In other words, get the x's on one side of the equation. You're allowed to subtract from this, or subtract from this, or add to this, or add to this, or multiply to this, and multiply to this. The only rule is if you do it to one side, you have to do it to the other. So here's what I'm going to do. I'd like to get the x's out of here and just have that 45 by itself. So I'm going to subtract 575, x. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to subtract that. All right. So now this goes away because 5.77 minus 5.77, that goes away. And here, let's slide that over just a little bit. So we're going to borrow up with is 2.73x. That's what's left. So 2.73x is equal to 45. And if we do the math, what happens is we discover that 2.73 times, if we divide both of those, divided by 2.73 divided by 2.73, it's going to come out to approximately 16.4. 16.483 if I remember right. And that is the same answer that you got when you did it graphing. So this is another way we can use the algebra to come to the same solution. Now in the following pages you're going to be doing the same thing. You're going to be setting up these two equations and they're going to ask you at what point are they equal. So set up your two equations and then get the x's on one side and the numbers on the other. Have fun.